You probably know that a blockchain has no central server. But here's the part almost nobody thinks about. The network still manages to agree on every single block, even when thousands of nodes receive different data at the same time. Today, we'll take a closer look at how that actually works.
Welcome to the 7th episode of Blockchain Beyond Bitcoin, a series inspired by the book of the same name by Marcus Zed. In this chapter, we're going to explore how a blockchain network functions as a peer-to-peer system, why decentralization matters, and how thousands of independent computers keep themselves in sync without any central authority. In the previous episodes, we learned that a blockchain is a decentralized ledger, a special kind of distributed database where each block depends on the one before it. Every block has two main parts: a header with important metadata and a body that usually contains transactions. The essential idea for this episode is simple. Each block has a unique hash, and that hash is derived from the block's content. If anything inside the block changes, the hash changes as well. Because every block stores the hash of the previous block in its own header, all blocks are cryptographically linked together. This makes the blockchain tamper-evident. Even the smallest modification would immediately break the chain. If you want more detail on block structure, hashing, or Merkle trees, feel free to revisit the earlier episodes. But this quick recap gives you all you need to understand today's episode. Before we begin, an important clarification. In this episode, we'll use Bitcoin as our example. In Bitcoin, miners create new blocks by using computational power to find a valid hash. In other blockchain systems, such as those based on proof of stake, this role is taken over by validators. They propose new blocks and attest to, or sign off on, the proposals of others, depending on the specific design of the protocol. What stays the same across all blockchains is the peer-to-peer principle. Every participant forwards data, checks it independently, and helps propagate updates throughout the network. Only the way new blocks are proposed and finalized differs depending on the consensus mechanism. What does peer-to-peer actually mean? A blockchain is a peer-to-peer network. That means there is no central server controlling or distributing all data. Instead, all participants are directly connected to each other and have equal rights within the network. Many computers, known as full nodes, store the entire blockchain. When a miner finds a valid block, they immediately broadcast it to the nodes they are connected to. Those nodes verify the block, store it, and forward it to their peers until the new block has reached the entire network, usually within seconds. Why is this important? In traditional systems, we depend on a central authority like a bank or a notary. That authority controls the data and decides what is valid. In a blockchain, no such central authority exists. Instead, trust is created by the system itself. Everyone has access to the same data. Everyone can independently verify every transaction and block. No one can secretly make changes because the rest of the network would immediately detect inconsistencies. This is what creates decentralization. Power and responsibility are distributed across many participants instead of being concentrated in a single institution. So, what exactly is a node? A node is a computer that actively participates in the network. It stores the blockchain, verifies new blocks, and relays information to other nodes. In simple terms, nodes are the network. Without them, the blockchain could not function. There are different types of nodes: full nodes, light nodes, and miners or validators. We'll cover their roles in detail in a later episode. The big question: if there is no central authority, how do thousands of independent participants agree on which version of the blockchain is the correct one? What happens if two miners find a block at the same time? And how does the network make sure that, eventually, everyone accepts the same chain? This is where consensus mechanisms come into play. In Bitcoin, miners create new blocks, and consensus is achieved through proof of work. The rules of this system determine which chain is valid. In Bitcoin, the network follows the chain that has the most work behind it, commonly described as the longest chain. In proof-of-stake blockchains, validators take over the role of proposing and attesting to new blocks. There, too, the consensus mechanism ensures that all participants eventually agree on the same valid chain. We'll explore these mechanisms in a dedicated episode, because they are the heart of any blockchain. Without them, A decentralized network wouldn't be trustworthy. To summarize, a blockchain is a peer-to-peer network without central control. Every node stores the blockchain and validates new blocks. Decentralization means that trust comes not from a central institution, but from mathematics, cryptography, and the rules built into the protocol. In other words, peer-to-peer describes the technical structure, and decentralization is the outcome. Without peer-to-peer, decentralization would not exist. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and stick around. Step by step, you'll build a deeper understanding of blockchain technology. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.